Hello everyone. Good to be back on stream. I hope everyone can hear me well. If not, let me know, please. Seems a bit silent, but yeah. Kinda. Hey, Spiman, how are you? Glad to see you here. How's my audio level? Can you give me feedback? Because I changed my setup again. Great. Okay, good. Yeah, good to hear. You're doing good. I still have my eagle eye searching method for typing on my keyboard, so I need to see my keyboard at some time. That's why I kind of need to have my microphone out of the way. So okay, today we'll do something different than usual. So no Godot today, because I need to prepare a talk for the ID at Azure program. If you're a game developer and looking for a good way to onboard to cloud, go to azure.com/ID. You can get up to $5,000. $5,000 in credits. Rapid response support on Azure and what would be the paid support and additional limits on PlayFab. Cool. But today we talk about leaderboards, level-based leaderboards, because that's something that's not possible. Yeah, cool. Cool, Speedmorn. Do the lurkin. As it's not possible in PlayFab to do level-based leaderboards, not at scale as of now. This might come with the next version of leaderboards. You cannot really programmatically create leaderboards and do per level leaderboard, but that's actually something that I heard from one particular person, but others as well. They wanted to do that, and so I figured I'll do a talk on how you can do this, and part of the talk will be an example project which I'm building now on stream. So I've prepared a few bits and pieces already, but the architecture is fairly simple. So you have, can we actually show it here? Yeah. So this is what happens, but it includes PlayFab, a Azure function, and a Redis database. Basically, let's make this bigger. So you have the client that plays a level with the server. The server then finishes the level, sends a finish level event, and persists the score by calling a Azure function. The Azure function takes that score and actually persists this into a Redis database. Then any client can come along and call an Azure function to get their own rank, so the player's rank, for a particular level ID, which the function will then turn in a request to the Redis database. The returned rank will be returned to the player. The player could also get like the first 10 positions of a level, right? So they know what they're competing against to get in the top 10. So we'll get a range. Again, they will call an Azure function. The Azure function will then call Redis and return the result. It's fairly simple, right? But that's the cool things, right? It often sounds complicated, but it's not. So let's see what we have done already. So we already have a leaderboard repository where I have like a get rank per level ID and then get top 10 levels. And also an add entry, so basically what we have in the overview. Again, fairly simple. Now I'm also building the tests for that. I actually built a CLI program, but I'm gonna throw this away and instead use the unit tests, because in the end, that's what you should be doing. Right. So remove to edit. Yes. Let it go. Let it go. Now we're just building implementation tests here. Cool. Good, good, good. Let's commit the basics. Okay. Remove CLI project. Now we want remove. We don't. Oh yeah. gonna remove the unit test 1CS. It was unnecessary. Yeah, you got it. You get it. You know, I have two ladies. So 2 kids who are ladies. They're way too much into Frozen. How do you know? Actually, the first Frozen film, I kind of liked it. Ooh. Did I do? Yeah, good to update the solution. I'm sorry, I need to take a call. Indeed. Good. You can hear me now? I guess you can hear me now. Good. Let's carry on. I just laughed about your running gag, which is true. Okay. So updating the solution. That's that. Did I say I love the JetBrains Rider commit view? It's the best, or generally the Git integration with the Git Toolbox plugin is just the best Git integration ever. So we don't actually need mock right now. So we'll remove it for now. First tests, good. Push that. Now. Good. Let's properly do the test. So this is true is useless because it will always be true because Azure entry doesn't return anything. Could make it return something, but instead we're gonna make this a proper test. So this will actually implement something that we probably don't need for the actual application. Maybe we do. So what happens if the connection string is wrong? Oops. I have to remove this configuration because that is no longer here. Just executing unit tests. I give a null exception. Okay, because that one is empty. It's not what we want. We just want the connection to fail. Where's a good test for this? Because we just fine forget it. Well, I think that's probably the test already. No, it succeeds if it just works. Okay, then good. Then yes, one should do it before. You should write tests before you should implement stuff. This way I did it differently. So we want to get the rank for a specific entry. So in fact we should also be clearing database. Actually, I don't know how to do this. What am I doing? I think we still need to get have a get entry basically. Well, that's that. Yeah. Okay. Holy shit. GitHub Copilot is writing the unit tests for me. Wow. It's gonna fail maybe? No? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we cannot trust the rank. Not. Shouldn't be 0. I guess that's fine. We have a rank. Okay. I think that works. So get top. Should get the top 10. Let's commit some tests. Hello, second viewer. Who are you? Wanna say hello? Oh, how does theory work again? I think that needs to be a collection of count, I think. My keyboard sounds good, and Vingariot, hey Vingariot, says no to my keyboard sound. Are you kidding me? This the keyboard sounds great. I wanna hear it up close. I think it's absolutely awesome. Ah, Noto saying hi. Okay, so you agree my keyboard sounds awesome. That's good. It's a Keychron K8 Pro, by the way. It's an absolutely awesome keyboard. It's actually that. You can program the buttons and everything. Absolutely epic. The light effects are pretty cool. I didn't know I was a RGB fan, but now I am, because like the lighting follows my typing. It's pretty awesome. Good. Anyone who ever worked with XUnit, do you agree that the documentation sucks if it is considered even existent? I think this is where XUnit could do a lot better. That's good. I can just do this. Okay, good. In fact. I think I'm going to do a fact. Did I say that GitHub Copilot is pretty awesome? Because it writes unit tests for you. Which is actually pretty bad, I think. Oh my god. MS Test is so bad. Not even Microsoft is using it. Like literally the .NET team is not using MS Test. It's using XUnit. Not xCloud, I'm saying xCloud way too often. MS Test. Actually, that's not the worst unit test I've ever seen. But the test is I'm really bad at writing unit tests. You probably all are laughing. Okay. Yeah, and it's probably because it said Microsoft. It's why you're using it. That's what happens a lot of the time. Like everyone's using the Microsoft shit because everyone thinks it must be good. Good. I need to stop talking because I cannot concentrate on writing a stupid unit test. Yeah. So the problem is I really need to flush my cache after each test. I really need to do this because otherwise I will get into like major issues. You got it? Major issues reporting for duty? What do you mean? With clearing the cache? Or what? Oh, just to dispose. Okay, good. What's going on? Ah! Yeah, I get it. How kind of... Why can I not flush the database? Oh no, I'm not at commands anymore. Yeah. Hmm. Need to get the server. This should... At least on a second run. What is the problem? Ah. Okay, here we go. I would love to have a coffee, but I will have to wait a little. Yes. Good, good, good. Yeah, it is. This is like this. Trust me, it's being used. Good. How can this be void? Good. This is some sort of enumerable. What is gonna be the return? I think it's gonna be a record. It's gonna be a record, I think. The player ID and the score. God, I forget. New things I've barely used. Yeah, of course. That's what I want. Public read-only record struct point. Oh my god. I need to copy this. I'm too lazy to write all this shit. Leaderboard entry. And it's a string player title ID. And a long score and nothing. Oh, yeah, a rank would be good. Long rank. Because I think the rank is long as well. Actually, the score is int here. I could make it long. Optimization for later. Good, so we have we're gonna enumerable of leaderboard entry. Now we're also spelling it properly. Good. So I can now write the fucking unit test properly. Top is not empty. Yeah, that should work. Sounds good. Turn new list of leaderboard entry. Boom. This is not the character you're looking for. Yeah, no should Sherlock. Okay, whatever. It does not null check if not null. That's not null. How? What? That's the purpose of the fucking test, to check for not null, but it's null. Are you throwing an exception? Da! You have to fail one step earlier. Whatever, then I'm just gonna delete a useless line. Shouldn't you be working, Wingariot? I mean, I'm working. Oh. No. Of course it's not now. That's good. That is good. I'm so stupid. Of course the not null check did not fail because it is not null. Duh. This is what I want. GitHub Copilot. I don't know if sometimes GitHub Copilot is really awesome, but sometimes I think you get influenced by what GitHub Copilot tells you what it thinks is the right thing. What's the element? Why yield return entry? Ah, because I made it an enumerable. Oh yeah, I can imagine the off by once, yes. But now it kind of helped me because I made it an enumerable where I should probably not have. It should have been I list because it's not really an enumerable. Because, yeah. But it still does that. That's bullshit. I want that. Always forget that these are actual properties. Scroll rank. What is element is a Redis value. I have no idea how the data structure looks like, so let's Set range. Only returns. Only return the GUID. Where's the GUID, by the way? Never used the GUID. That's a good Redis UI. There's this from Redis Labs. Oh, yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah, great. Redis.com. I don't know what these forms are. How do they think they get like proper data here? Oh. Well, for future reference, that's the actual download link. So the flushing does not work. Interesting. Very interesting. So okay. Oh, good to implement our disposable. Declare it. See if that helps. Oh. Need to go to the test settings. I regenerated the connection setting because I accidentally exposed those. No GitHub. Ooh la la. Okay. Okay. Turn on admin mode. There you go. Now we should have that flushed. Okay, baby. Here we go. I suppose one doesn't get the score with it, so we need to fetch the score afterwards. Interesting. No, this is an actual database. I do like to write integration tests. I think they provide a lot more value, but in the end, that has the problem that you actually need infrastructure. So right now I'm using Azure deployed Redis, but what I'm gonna do later on when I build CI, I will be using a containerized Redis instance that runs in GitHub Actions, because it shouldn't do a lot, right? And then I don't need to have actual infrastructure, but it's ephemeral. I'm using ephemeral stuff in GitHub Actions. That makes a lot more sense. Good, then the record is without the score. Just the rank. Yeah, I think I personally, what I like more about integration tests is really end-to-end testing of how things work, not just the API or very specific implementation thing. I mean, if you have like more intricate logic, then yes, unit tests make sense. But yeah, since I'm dealing here mostly with infrastructure, I really want the components to fit together. And also, one big part of that is that this shall become a implementation that runs on Azure Functions, right? But if you look closely, there is no Azure Function here, right? Because testing with Azure Functions, like actual testing, F5 testing, so to say, it's not the best experience in Azure Functions because it takes some time to boot up. I mean, it's pretty fast on my machine, right? But I also have an extremely beefy machine. That is not the case for everyone. So I also kind of want to show the best practice on how to build it, right? You could totally use a CLI application, but a unit test is essentially a CLI application in .NET. And so why not write integration tests right away? And then you can better reproduce stuff. Yeah, thanks for the random thing that you shared. I mean, go ahead, but that's pretty cool. I actually like Twitch interactive games. That's pretty cool. So now let's make this 10. Okay, that was cool. Thank you. Actually, the square shall be I as well. Don't need the square anymore. We don't need square anymore. Good. We don't need this anymore. Get top the level. Oh. It's still the same. We don't need to prefix that. Good. It should not be empty. It should have count. Oh, whoops. Jump. This is interesting. It says verifies that a collection contains exactly a given number of elements. But where do you say what is the given number of elements? The element inspectors which inspect each element in turn. Total number of element inspectors must exactly match the number of elements in the collection. So I have to implement an inspector for everything? What's that anyways? Also. So it's basically a for each on top of that. Yeah, I can imagine that you burned out after GCP and AWS. You should try it, it's much simpler. Should I hardcode this? I'd like to have logic in my unit test that defeats the purpose. Particularly assert logic. Well, you know what? I do 3 entries, not 10 or 11 or whatever. I just do 3 because I don't need more. I could do with 2. But I'm a bit curious what these element inspectors do and how you use them. Interesting. I don't have time for this shit. So we go through all of this for each. Too much Godot. I less than total entries I plus plus. Oh, semicolon. This is where GitHub should have helped me. Top. Now I know why. That's good, it's good, it's good. All good. So the first should have the highest score. So in fact we should go down to total entries greater than 0. And we're gonna diminish. So element title player ID, the ID prefix .i. Oh, I did something stupid. I don't need the rank because the rank is the ranking of the list. But hey. That's funny, I created an app long time ago. Oh, so this is by Speedmode. That's funny, I created an app long time ago for my college and I go listen to weird songs on Fridays. All in sync, so we have to listen to the same song at the same time. I recreated this app not so long ago in web. That was pretty fun. Yeah. What did the thing that made you did a thing that made you or that prompted you to write down? Yeah. not empty, so this means what? What is this? Is it empty? Or could it be empty? It is indeed empty. Ah, I know, because I'm stupid. That's the reason. No, but it always creates level 1. I'm still stupid. Mm-hmm. Probably do 3 if I want 3. The count is total entries. Oh yeah. Spearman, what song I sang did prompt you to telling that story? I'd be curious. Yeah, that's what I'm trying idiot thing to clear this. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Yeah, nice. Okay. Good. I think we solved all of that. Cool. Let's commit shit. Okay. That's pretty much it for now on the Ready side. Hey, we have a new viewer. Hello, new viewer. Who are you? Wanna say hi? We're working on level-based leaderboards with Redis on Azure Functions. Let's push this. Let's do some cleanup. These are the times when GitHub Copilot is really cool. Can resolve simple. Some cleanup here. All right. Now, I think we're now going to look at adding the Azure function. Okay, quick vote. Azure functions or Terraform infrastructure deployment? I will make a short break, get myself a coffee, and after that I will... It's both the Azure. Terraform with Azure, Terraform infrastructure provision, or just like setting up the Azure function. So basically, but do you know the ins and outs? So write 1 or 2 in the chat. I'll be doing that after the coffee break. I'll be right back. Yo, here we go again. Good coffee. You ready? Setting up an Azure function it is. So speed mode is here. And go ahead. Still on the break. Let's go. Okay, good. So you want to learn something. That's why you came here. Okay, interesting. So let's right click, add new project. Okay, let's start differently. So Azure Functions is a serverless execution framework in Azure. If you know AWS, it's kind of similar to Lambda, though I've never worked with Lambda, so that's about as much as I can tell you about the differences to Lambda. But you can basically, it's basically a abstraction over multiple over virtual machines and their operating system and even their web server. So what you can do is you can basically create a website or web app without even like taking care of any web server whatsoever. So you can just, like, if you're in .NET land, you can use an ASP.NET Core application basically and upload this to Azure Functions and just use it. The beauty of Azure Functions is that it's independent of these stacks, right? So you can use any other language. There are a few first-class citizens, but you can build your own host for Azure Functions as well. The basic or default billing model on Azure for Azure Functions is consumption plan. So this basically more or less means you pay per request, right? In reality, you pay for the used memory and used CPU time, but you will only pay for what you use. There is another billing option that is called consumption plan. Sometimes premium, and sometimes it's called, no, I think it's generally mostly called premium, where you pay a certain fee continuously, but it is paid per kind of for the specs that you're using in terms of memory and CPU. Oh, and you always pay for bandwidth in cloud. So, but that's the same for every product in every cloud. So outbound egress traffic. The one of the differences, the main difference in terms of games, really is between consumption plan and premium plan, is that consumption plan functions can incur what we call a cold start behavior. So because it includes, I need to go another step back. So Azure Functions scales automatically, right? Based on your needs. So if there's just a couple of users using it, there's basically just one VM backing it, right? But if you have thousands or 100,000s or even millions of users, consumption plan can scale for you automatically, right? So it will add new virtual machines basically to the execution pool. Transparently, you don't have to do anything, but it will take some time. And that is basically cold start behavior, because it needs to, in the background, kind of acquire a VM, kind of boot it up and add it to the pool. So this takes up to 8 seconds. So if you have a large scale event, or have not executed anything in the last couple of minutes and it shut down everything basically, so you're not paying anything, it will take some time to kind of reacquire or scale up the VMs for you. With Premium Plan, you don't have that. You can configure how many pre-scaled VMs you have or you want to have, but you're also paying for them, right? But the framework really takes care of all the unnecessary work or the tedious work of writing scale rules and things like that. Okay, let's look at this in the Azure portal. So, do we have a function already? Yeah, so let's use this. Good. An Azure function, when you create it, it will receive a URL. You can select the operating system, and you'll see a runtime version. We're now at 4 even. You should use the latest if you can. Actually, let's create one. Create. So you can actually see some Azure stuff when going it. Oh, okay, a question from Spimod. I have a question. What kind of task do you run in an Azure function in terms of gaming system? Like real world example. The real world example I'm building right now, it's essentially just a proxy to the database, right? I will receive a HTTP request to store a certain score for a certain player for a certain level, right? So it will take on that request, use that data, transform it, and save it to the database, for example, or do some background check, right? For example, if you receive a score from the client directly, you don't want to trust that, right? I mean, you kind of have to a little bit, but at least you want to validate it for plausibility, right? Because a score in your question of 9 billion is maybe not possible, right? But a score of 0 isn't either, right? And things like that, anti-cheat stuff, really. Plausibility checks is a lot of things. Caching. Yeah. Hope that was a good real world example. If you need more, let me know. Okay. So, I'm selecting function up here. This is one way of creating it, right? We could also go here and say function up, and we want to create one. This is actually my preferred way of doing creating new resources. You will select a subscription. Very often you just have one. Then you're selecting a resource group. In this case, we want to deploy into leaderboards RG. Best practice in Azure is really to use resource groups, which are a container, just a logical container, to use them for certain deployments or for a specific application. Like everything that pertains to this leaderboards application I'm building, I will be deploying in a leaderboards resource group. Okay. Spima, to your question, so you're asking a follow-up question. It's not the job of the server to keep track of the score, ? So the client don't send the score server authoritative. That is true, if you have a server. Not everyone has a server, right? Actually, most don't. So, for example, look at a game like Hardspace Shipbreaker. Oh, I love this game. Actually, I'm gonna launch it now. Hardspace Shipbreaker uses Azure. It uses PlayFab to do all this background work. Hardspace Shipbreaker has leaderboards. Hardspace Shipbreaker does not entertain the idea of having a running server all the time. I assume, right? Because that would be stupid. Because it will take a lot of money to actually do this. Because you have that server running all the time. And that's why PlayFab has the ability to just upload a leaderboard item. By the way, this is blocked by default from the client. So it makes sense to call an Azure function, post that score, and the Azure function does some plausibility check, right? For example, if you get a specific score if you can only achieve a score by using a specific like tool or something in Hardspace Shipbreaker, then you would check if that particular user owns that, right? Yeah, true. I mean, it costs a lot to develop and to run. Yeah. So in fact, I think, and this is what I hear a lot of the time, actually PlayFab is really, really cool for backends, right? Totally makes sense there. For single player games. I actually wrote a blog post on that. Because yeah, analytics and consistency checks and things like that. So leaderboards. Yeah, see? And they want data. So they process some logs and stuff. So they can actually check whether it's sensible what you do, right? Also they're personalizing things. So yeah. So they're tracking all this data for the leaderboards. And that is something that PlayFab does not support out of the box, right? Having a leaderboard with all this data. So yeah, I have to somehow aggregate that data. And I'm pretty sure they have a database behind there. Full disclosure, I've not worked with them. So I'm really just speculating. So I think they will be using some sort of backend code like Azure Functions to aggregate this data, possibly a database. At least that's what I would recommend them to do. All right. Yeah, exactly. Another thing that you can do, sending, if you have one-on-one multiplayer, if both send a score, they need to send the same score, right? Thanks, Fingerhead. So let's call this leaderboards web, because we're gonna do a web app basically. You can run a code package on Azure Functions or a Docker container, but we just want to have a code package. Stack will be .NET. We're gonna use 6 isolated. Now, isolated is important. With 7, you can only use isolated. I'm not using 7 because Rider is not supporting it fully out of the box. So I'm gonna default to 6 isolated. Isolated is important because it, in previous version of Azure Functions, .NET would run in the same process as the Azure Functions runtime itself, right? That was problematic because it would sometimes clash NuGet package versions, right? If like you would use the same package as Azure Functions, but in a different version, this could lead to problems. So that's why isolated is better. I'm gonna deploy this into the West Europe region because that's where I am. Linux is a little bit cheaper, so let's do that. Plan type, we're gonna use consumption plan. Good. Hosting, we need a new storage account for that. That's gonna do that automatically. Networking, nothing specific. We need monitoring. We want to enable app insights. That's basically a built-in dashboard to analyze the performance and errors and stuff. Always turn this on. If you use, because I'm having a sponsored subscription from my employer, Microsoft, but if you're doing this on your own, be careful to configure this properly. I mean, in development, it's usually not an issue, and you should turn it on full scale. But in production, be careful. This can grow expensive very fast, right? Because if you're collecting all the logs and you have a lot of users, you will generate a lot of data that you have to pay for. So this is the cool thing, you can directly enable GitHub Actions deployment. Or I could now go ahead and actually deploy right away from GitHub. But I want to do this on my own later on. Okay, and every deployment has tags where you can specify your own key value pairs, basically, like for billing or something like that. So review and create. By the way, here it says download a template for automation. This will expose you to ARM templates, the Azure Resource Manager templates. As your resource manager is basically the API behind all of Azure that takes care of provisioning and so forth. You should not use ARM templates unless you have to. It's messy JSON. Like, this is why some people hate JSON. If you do JSON that way, then it's your fault that JSON is not, that people don't like JSON anymore. Instead, you should use Terraform for infrastructure as code, or Pulumi, which is basically C# code. I want to do this for this project as well later on, but first Terraform. There's also Bicep, which is our own Microsoft Azure specific infrastructure as code language. Some people say it's great, but it doesn't have state management, so it can't be that great. Terraform does have state management, and that's why I'm using it, because it's proliferated across the industry. Also, I like JSON, and it looks like JSON. Okay, so now we have a function deployed. Another cool feature is you can have multiple deployment slots, so you can have multiple versions of the same function deployed. You can swap between those and pre-warm and shit like that. Configuration is when you configure things like environment variables, for example. So if you set application settings here or connection strings, both are the same, more or less. I don't know the difference. They will be exposed as environment variables. Connection string should only be used with the function app if you're using entity framework. Yeah, so just grab this. It's useless. They used to be different because those were used to not be encrypted, but they are now. Never heard Terraform. Now you have very important technology. Terraform.io, really good. By the way, in Azure, in the Azure portal, you have Terraform integrated. If you click here, you get a Cloud Shell. Yeah, there is so much text, indeed. You can, so the first launch experience will require you to set up a storage account, but you can select between PowerShell and Bash, and it has Azure CLI integrated already. It has Terraform integrated. It has Node.js, I think, integrated, and so forth, right? So that's pretty awesome. And you can also upload and download files, and you could even map your Cloud Shell directory to your local machine. Also, if you're using Windows Terminal locally, it will set you up with an Azure Cloud Shell right away, so you can use the Azure Cloud Shell in here directly. It's the wrong one. I love certificate-based authentication. So great. Did you see I did not enter a password? That was pretty cool. Good. Just wanted to show you that. Good. So we have the function deployed. There are a couple of other settings we don't need to check out now. So let's get coding again, because I really need to finish this. Okay, so when you create a new project, I should technically show you this with Visual Studio, I guess. But I'm not the biggest fan of Visual Studio. For .NET and web stuff, that is. For everything else, yes. Okay, let's add new project and select Azure Functions, give it a name, in my case web. Good. We want to have this under the source directory, bench. But this is cool in Rider as well. It shows you where it will put it, which is good because this thing doesn't do that. Why JetBrains and not VS Code? Because Rider is an IDE and VS Code is a pretty awesome text editor. I think that's the difference I would make. Yeah, it's not an IDE. I mean, look at the capabilities that Rider has. I mean, even with code completion and refactorings and stuff, it's insane, the capabilities that Rider has. I mean, not even the syntax highlighting in Visual Studio is up to par. So again here, language, I'm choosing C#, obviously. I want an isolated worker. I'm choosing .NET 6. And the function host is bound to be 4. Oh, if you want to run Azure Functions locally, you will need the Azure Functions runtime, which is locally a Node.js tool. You can also use a storage emulator locally, but yeah, we'll see whether I'm gonna use it. I don't think so. Going to create. Yeah, it's not free, but you know, it's pretty cheap for what you get, I think. Good. So let's pop it open. Wait. No, it's not what I wanted. Just want to call it web. Because I'm basically using hotkeys all the time, I want you to see those. Huh? I thought I did install that. Ah, well. There was this hotkey announcer. Whatever. Good. Okay. Let's implement the Azure function. Oh, Azure functions. One important thing. You can have Azure functions that have different triggers. So basically the default and most used one is HTTP trigger. So you get a root, either one of the HTTP request methods, like get, post, whatever. You can implement these triggers, or you can use a queue. So for example, a Azure storage queue, that is a poor man's queue implementation, something like similar to RabbitMQ, but less powerful, obviously. You can use many more queue systems with different characteristics in Azure, but only storage queues will work with PlayFab. Also, HTTP will work with PlayFab. Other triggers will not work. Another trigger that is potentially useful is blob storage trigger. So suppose you upload a file to an Azure blob storage, you can trigger on a file that lands or is updated in a particular container. So another use case for Azure Function is, for example, if you have a file drop in a specific container, it can pick this up and transform it and do something with it. Okay, now, as you see, when you have an Azure Function app in .NET, it is basically a regular .NET application, an ASP.NET application, right? With some function worker dependencies. But you can basically use the same dependency injection and whatnot as an ASP.NET Core. You will have some local settings here that will be used as if they were environment variables. Host.json is just for launch settings. Then obviously git ignore. The other stuff is again launch settings. The dependencies just show you what kind of packages we depend on. Okay, so we want to add a new trigger. So right click, add. And here you can see blob trigger, Cosmos DB trigger, event grid trigger, event hub trigger, HTTP trigger, queue trigger, service bus trigger, service bus topic trigger, or timer trigger, which is essentially a cron job. Okay, we want to do actually, what do we want to do? I think we want to do an HTTP trigger. So the first is post score, right? Yes. Look, this is something that writer can do. Alt enter. Was a wrong line. Alt enter. Alt enter here. Why is this happening to me now? Well, still find all this type there. Why is function stuff not installed? Oh, it says here. Good, done. See, this is what writer can do. Okay, we can now just like F5 this. As you can see, it exposes both roots get and post. Gonna break here. So you've seen how this looks like. So, okay, see the console popping up here. Post score, it has roots get and post for this URL. So I can click on this. Boom. Post score. I have my breakpoint here. This would be my my request. Here we go. In my body, there's nothing in there, but I could post something here. Okay. I don't have Postman installed. Interesting. I'm pretty sure I used to. Good. Nightingale is something that does similar things. Let's just use that. Post. Should have shut this down. Okay, so post the body in JSON. What? What's happening? What's going on? Yeah, I can see something went wrong here with this request. But what? Huh. This works. This doesn't. Weird. I hate Postman. But it's still the best thing. I love 1Password though. Best investment I've ever done in software too. Or software as a service. What, the Crimson Trinity? Where's that? Whatever. No, I don't want a new connection. Oh god. I haven't used this for so long. In this workspace, requests. Yeah. Where? Add a request. Add entry. It's going to be post. This is the URL. Shall we use query parameters? No, I want to use the body. this works. Interesting. Wonderful. And if we look into the request, we will see. Oh, the right thing. Body memory string. Okay. Can I actually look into the memory string? Would be interesting. No. Okay. We'll have to work with this. Okay, good. What? Did they change this? What? Do I now have to parse this on my own or what? This is ridiculous. No, it can't be. One second, please. Okay. I can just query the, well. Quest query. Okay. Okay, I actually need to pass them. I think it's easier than to just use query parameters because it's not something just particular secret, but it makes stuff a lot easier. Why don't I have this query thing? Great. I love it when the documentation is up to date. Yeah, it's funny that you're suggesting that GitHub Copilot, because that does not exist. And the name is actually typing player ID. And no, we're not assigning anything here. Okay. This doesn't work either. Query. This is where I start cheating. And just look it up somewhere else. Oh, that's the old version, great. And also Q. Okay, we're looking at something new here. Ah, yeah, because you can directly put this in the root now. Yeah. But this doesn't work. I know I did this before. Why is this hard? I hate this. When you're not being told what kind of shit you have to include. But this is an this is an attribute. There's a parameter to this. Okay. Got it. Root. Good. So now we should be able to just use that. Yeah, we can just like define these as parameters and they will be auto-populated. Now we can just use those. We need to reference the implementation project. So we can new up another thing we need to celebrate this. Function. There was a topic, I saw a topic on Azure Functions. Okay. We need a multiplex. I think we need to inject the multiplex. Let me check. Oh yeah, definitely, most definitely. Actually, we can just copy this over here. Because that's what we're gonna do here. Good. I should implement a repository. I got the hint. I got the hint. Thank you. Well, this is another cool feature of a proper IDE. So this should do the trick. Yeah. Set the secrets here as environment variables. Just copying over the access keys so you can't see them. Okay. So now we should be able to use that. Close all tabs. Post score. Good. Now we just use the score and the title player ID to post the score. So oh, actually, I don't know how dependency injection works nowadays. So I just need to declare it here. Oh, interesting. This is not how I did it. I just configure services instead. In the program. I think it's gonna work. Let's see. Using injected, yeah. Oh. Okay, cool. Proper constructor injection. Also pretty cool here in Rider is like snippets like this. What am I doing? we need the level ID. Oops. Yeah, Visual Studio has by far the best debugger. By far. I mean, the Rider one is pretty awesome, but Visual Studio is next level in terms of debugging. But some of the things I like more in JetBrains Rider in terms of like how they display certain things. Good. This should be it. Google Plus is trending on Twitter. What the fuck? I mean, next to Steam Deck and Twitter shutdown. Oh. Yeah. Connection refused. I should start the thing. In fact, Rider also has an HTTP client integrated, so I could do the same. Why can't it start? It's crashing immediately, probably because of my very creative way of registering a service. I don't know. But you better ask you can ask JetBrains on Twitter, they're super responsive. I might as well just like look at the terminal and tell me stuff or output. Where's output? Mm-hmm. Yes, the answer is also probably in the worst. Cannot copy, why? What is running? Wrong project? No. I meant this. Here the music is playing, as we say in Germany. Oh, come on. Some rogue.net process or what? Die. Okay, what is happening? What is happening? Yeah. Can you please kill Funk? What does Python do? Okay, let's try. Quick poll while we mess around with this. Do you think Twitter's gonna die? 7,500 employees down to probably 300. Yeah, he's supposedly struggling to keep his people. I'm just reading. He's meeting with people who are trying to resign, and his pitch is paraphrased. I know how to win. If you want to win, stay and work for me. It doesn't look like he's winning. Ah, we have no application to work with. So let's see. Yeah, I'll be right back as well because things. No, the stream is not starting soon. The stream is right back. See you in a minute or two. Music back. Good. Let's try this again. Nope. Level ID. Oh, that's fucking awesome. What is this? This supposedly crashes. And then it fucking locks it. And then I have no means of killing it. Oh, this is fucking great. So, but it helped to close Rider before. So I suppose it's sub-processes of Rider. Well, still. Great, task manager is not responding. Boom, 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 boom. Ah, funk. Should have ended that one. That's what I did. So this is an attribute to this. So these are constraints that I need to match. Do I need to make this nullable or what? No. Maybe string is not the thing. It's not, indeed. Maybe if I just remove the string thingy. I see, because there is no validation in there. That's why, because it's always a string, I suppose. Oh, and I did use root parameter. So what's the root again? The root is add. Let's be more verbose here. Level ID. Level ID. RP add. Oh. Interesting, why not found? Let's run it with Both. Hmm. Oh, here we go. So we should have an entry now. Oh yeah, baby. We do. Okay. I'll make a proper return code. That's return the response. Return the response. Bam. Oh, we can see this here. Yeah, I think either Twitter will survive within the next couple days, months, because he's not fucking it up too badly, but I suppose he will badly fuck it up. Like, nobody seems to be working for him anymore, and you can't blame them if you ask them to work 80 hours for his personal wealth. Who would do that? Yeah, so we get this working. Okay. Oh, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna add open API docs to it as well. Just copying this over from another project. So let's pull over some. did I click? Good. So, okay. So we have the function, it defines the function name and the root. Then we have an open API operation. The ID is run. Also references this method. Then give it a tag entry. We define the open API security to be function key because we're using function key for authentication. That is basically a query parameter secret key that you need to set, and that's why we also say it's an API key and it's a type of key or name key, and it's in the query. And then we can define different parameters. That we have. So we have a path one that is the level ID. And then we have the type player ID and the score. So when we open this, API response is okay, content type to explain is okay. This looks good, so let's start this. I should also expose in the, here what the API endpoint is, I guess. No, it doesn't. But I think it's down to Swagger. Oh, that's not what we want. RP Swagger UI, okay. Yeah, it's indeed sound from people who work at the Twitters. It's not. Did I miss something here? Great, where the image is missing. Oh, okay. Need to add this, so what? It's kind of what I thought, that I will have to add something here. Oh, really? I love when you can copy and paste. Oh. Yeah, cool. It doesn't seem to work though. So I need to get rid of this verbose setting. It's kind of annoying. Interesting. Let's check this out again. Okay. And swagger.json. .json. Where are we moving then? Idiot. Okay. I think I'm gonna re-enable the boss. Let's try again. Oh god, what was HTTP 204? Success, right? Nothing there. No, not HTTPS. Why am I getting Spanish results? No content, yeah. That's what I thought. Why is there no content? Why is there no content? No, I don't. I mean, I can sometimes read it. I probably get the point of it when I'm reading it. Oh, Google is... I should go back to Google. I really like... I really like Bing, but it's sometimes, particularly for programming, the search results are so bad. Okay, this is a little bit too involved for my... Did I do? Oh, if I call this very side from why Google looks better. I don't want to read documentation. I don't like documentation. Yeah, that's how it should look like. Yes. Cool. That's what I did. Yeah, okay. I will revert that and I will try and fix that eventually. But for today, I think I'm not using that because I don't really understand how it works, and thus I will not mess up the code base with it. So yeah, we're gonna revert all of it. Bam. Okay. What is important? We have something that works. And yeah. Now we're gonna look. Shall we deploy this? No, I don't want to deploy this right now. I want to have the infrastructure ready and then want to use a new build to deploy stuff. So I'm sorry, but we're gonna look into Terraform now. Infrastructure. We don't need Cosmos DP, that is from another project, so gone. Bam. Goodbye. Oh. Roll back. Welcome back. Cosmos DB. Gonna reuse you. Rename you. Oh wait, Redis. So we want a prefix text, container name, no. Partition key, we don't need that. And the resource group, okay. The outputs will be some sort of connection string. Cool. What's good? I see the Terraform support in here. It's new. I removed that parameter. Great. So, okay. Look at this later. For now, main, we want a resource group. We have that already. We want a storage account. We don't necessarily need a queue. So we're gonna remove that. In fact, I don't know whether we need that. Let's comment this out. The module we're gonna use here is Redis. In Redis source. The resource group will be the same, text and prefix is the same, these two parameters will be removed. We want the functional plan. This is likely something we're not gonna use. We need a log analytics workspace for app insights. Okay, let's reuse this. The locals here. We'll just have one. Remove everything pertaining to. So. Still use that function name. Prefix will be leaderboard, actually. do need the storage. Okay. So we need the connection string, the other. Did we call it Redis connection string? Will be the environment variable. Format. Ctrl-Alt-Shift-F. Okay, so we got this converted. Now we need the Redis should to be done. I'm just going to delete all of that. Ah, to switch to Terraform is good. Okay, thank you. Close this, by the way. Bum, 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 bum. Ah, it's var. That's why. The heck is capacity? Ah, okay. Family will be C. Okay, capacity. What did we have? And the one that I deployed. Oops. Is it 250? What is that? Scale. C0 basic. That's basically 1. 1. 0. Okay. Then 0 is probably enough for now. This should probably be a parameter. Where's skew name? What? Okay. Basic. No, not twice. Okay, so those are things that should come in via a variable. Yeah, these should be hard-coded, kind of. Let's pull those in over variables in the Redis inputs TF. What the fuck? This is great. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Huh. Did you see this? What GitHub Copilot just did for me? I love it. Absolutely love it. Come on. Basically, if you look real quick, it basically auto-generated all of this. I just did this more or less manually, pasted in that from the docs, and the other one was just like GitHub Actions. It's scary at some time, yeah, but it's also pretty cool at some time. But it can possibly also mess up your code pretty bad. Any other configuration I need to do? Okay, I think that's it. Pretty much. Outputs. Primary connection string. One second, please. I need to talk to my fam real quick. Okay. So just one last word. I need to go. So when I create this, I want the connection string back, and this connection string I can define here. And it's called primary connection string. Why is this called example? It should not be we call it Redis. And then I can use this here. Redis module Redis connection string. 0. Cool. Good. Because it's 0 element in the connection strings output. Okay, that concludes today's stream. I'll hope to see you next time, and I will be doing a talk on this in 2 weeks on ID at Azure. Please register at azure.com/ID. Hope you enjoyed it. Great to meet you, Spimord and Vingariot. And I hope to see you again next week. And have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.